Let's say you're invited to a party at a friend's house. You get to your friend's house and you're just about to ring the doorbell. But you pause, and all these thoughts start going through your head. What if I'm too early? Or worse, what if I'm too late? You check your phone, exactly 7 p.m. The invitation said 7 p.m., right? But what if everyone else decides to come at 7:15? Your palms start sweating, your heart starts to race. Maybe you should just turn around and go home. No one would notice, no one would care. But what if they do care? What if everybody was waiting for you? Your brain races through every possible outcome, from the catastrophic to the most ridiculous. You sigh, and then finally, you ring the doorbell. A second later, the door swings open and the host greets you with a smiling face. She says, "Hey, you made it. Come on in." Turns out, it wasn't that complicated after all. But try telling that to your brain. Does this sound like a familiar scenario? Do you often feel wrapped up in your own head, overanalyzing everything to the point where you remain stuck, unable to take action? Hey, it happens to all of us. And the truth is, overthinking doesn't solve any problems. In fact, it creates new ones like stress, anxiety, and decision fatigue. But here's the good news. You can break free. Hey there, I'm Tans. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing 6 actionable steps to help you detach, quiet your mind, and overcome overthinking so you can finally start moving forward with clarity and confidence and push past anything that's holding you back. First, let's focus on the science behind overthinking and how it's holding you back. You see, your brain is designed to keep you safe. When faced with uncertainty, your brain tries to analyze every possible outcome to avoid danger. This is called analysis paralysis, when we overanalyze so much that we are too overwhelmed to act. Let's say you want to go on vacation, and so you start to research where you want to go. You enter the analysis paralysis stage where you start to think of possible options, and you spend so much time overanalyzing the perfect destination that you end up missing your booking window and you end up missing out on your vacation. Another great example is if you have a YouTube channel. You start to research different topic ideas, but then you keep getting deeper into this step without getting any clarity. As a result, you miss your publishing window, you're unable to post your video, and you start to become inconsistent simply because you couldn't make a decision. Research published in the journal Behavior Research and Therapy shows that chronic overthinking increases your likelihood of experiencing stress and reduces your ability to solve problems effectively. If you're constantly stuck in your head, it's not a personal flaw, it's just your brain trying to protect you. But in modern life, this protection backfires because it keeps you from making important decisions, taking action, and making any kind of progress. So how do we stop the cycle? Well, that's where the first step comes in. Step 1, label your thoughts and don't believe them all. One of the fastest ways to detach from overthinking is to realize that you are separate from your thoughts. When you overthink, your mind can start spinning all sorts of stories that feel real, but in fact are very exaggerated. For example, a simple mistake can spiral you into thinking, "I'm a failure, everything is ruined, I can't do anything right, I am never going to be able to fix this." This type of cognitive distortion fuels anxiety, keeps you stuck, and prevents you from moving forward. So when you catch yourself overthinking, try labeling what's happening, such as, "That's just my imposter syndrome kicking in," or "That's my fear of failure showing up." Go deeper by asking yourself, is this type of thinking even helpful? Is it true? Often thoughts are just noise that you need to drown out, and they're not based in any kind of reality. Studies from UCLA show that when we label our thoughts or emotions, it reduces activity in the amygdala, that's the part of the brain that's responsible for stress responses. Simply naming what you're experiencing helps you feel calmer and more in control. The key here is to observe your thoughts without judging yourself. You don't have to engage with every thought that comes into your mind. Step 2, set good enough standards. Overthinkers often get caught in the trap of perfectionism. As a perfectionist, this is something that I've dealt with most of my life, and it's held me back in so many ways. And I've realized that if you're always waiting to make the perfect decision, the perfect moment, or the perfect thing, you will remain stuck. The reality is most decisions don't need to be perfect. They just need to be good enough to move forward. Over the years, I've realized that in many cases, consistency is better and more important than being perfect. When you let go of perfection, you open yourself up to progress and growth and success. The perfect example is my latest YouTube video, which I almost didn't post. I got stuck in the analysis paralysis mode for a long time, trying to figure out which topic idea I should work on, which delayed my filming by an entire day. I finally decided on my topic, 6 habits to stop wasting your evenings after work, but because I had delayed my filming by a day, when I started to finally film the video, I came across all sorts of problems and issues, and it was really difficult to film. It started with the cloudy day, the lighting was not perfect, so I had to spend additional time trying to compensate for the lack of lighting, which took even longer to film. So then when I finally sat down to film, I just kept getting interrupted. First it was the package, then it was the mailman, then it was my kid's school calling because my kid was sick and I had to go pick him up. I mean, it was non-stop. When I finally finished filming my video that day, the perfectionist in me kept nagging me saying, this video is not good enough, you need to redo it the next day and you need to refilm. The funny thing is, the next day was even busier, so not only did I not get a chance to refilm, but by then I had wasted 2 precious days that I could have spent editing my video instead. So I finally decided on day 3 that I'm just going to work with what I have. I'm going to edit the video to the best of my ability, and then I'm just going to publish it. That night, after my kids had gone to bed and I finished all my work and my chores, I stayed up for 2 hours editing my video. I also woke up early the next day at 5 a.m. and I spent another couple of hours editing my video, and I just got it done. Even when I was posting the video, this little voice kept nagging me in my head that the video was not good enough, I should have refilmed it, and it was not my best work. I'm gonna link that video for you guys because that video ended up going viral. Viral for me, which, as I understand, is when you have more views than the number of subscribers. I came this close to not even posting that video. It taught me a very valuable lesson. It inspired me to make this video about analysis paralysis and how overthinking can stop you from making progress. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for good enough and ask yourself, what is the simplest, most reasonable step that I can take right now? Give yourself a time limit for decisions. For example, minor decisions like what to eat, what to wear, where to go, what to do should take no longer than 2 minutes. Use the 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of actions that brings you 80% of the results. What action can you take that can get you 80% of the way there? In my YouTube example, it was just editing the video so I could get it to a good enough state where I could just publish it. Not everything has to be perfect. Only the essential things matter most. According to the book Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz, limiting decision time reduces mental exhaustion and boosts happiness. Done is always better than perfect. By setting reasonable standards for yourself, you free yourself from the pressure to get everything just right, allowing space for learning and growing along the way. Step 3. Practice zooming out. Overthinking magnifies problems because you're zeroing in on them. Zooming out helps you gain perspective. When you step back, you realize that your worries weren't as catastrophic as your mind made it seem. This allows you to shift from an emotional reaction to a rational response. You can practice zooming out by asking yourself these questions. Will this matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Imagine giving advice to a friend on the same issue. What would you tell them? Visualize your bigger life picture. Will this decision or worry shape your future happiness? Psychological research shows that gaining a third-person perspective helps reduce emotional intensity and allows for clearer decision-making. Zooming out reduces the emotional charge of immediate worries and helps you gain a calmer and broader perspective. Step 4, release control over the outcome. In our daily lives, there's so much that we can't control. At the heart of overthinking is the desire to control everything. But here's the truth, you can't control every outcome, and trying to do so just increases your anxiety. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up, it just means trusting yourself to be able to handle whatever comes next. You should identify what you can control, such as your actions and your emotions, and separate them from things that you can't control, such as other people's actions, other people's emotions, and other people's reactions. You should also trust yourself to be able to handle whatever happens next. And when you feel the urge to overthink, ask yourself, is this within my control? And if not, just let it go. According to research in the Journal of Positive Psychology, people who let go of things that they can't control experience lower stress levels and greater emotional well-being. Step 5, limit mental loops with decision bucket. One reason that we overthink is because we keep revisiting the same decision over and over again without resolution. Decision buckets create a systematic way to manage decisions, reduce mental loops, and avoid confusion. Create decision buckets by categorizing things into 3 separate categories. The immediate decisions bucket. These are decisions that you need to make very quickly. Make them in 2 minutes or less. Scheduled decisions. These are decisions that you can schedule ahead of time. For these decisions, give yourself a deadline. And let it go decisions. These are decisions that are really not going to matter in a month. So then just let it go and drop it. By sorting your decisions into these 3 buckets, you reduce the time that you spend revisiting the same decisions, and instead you free up your mind to focus on things that truly matter. Step 6, create a mind dump ritual. When your brain is crowded with thoughts, you need a place to unload them. So each evening, try to do a 5-minute mind dump where you do some journaling, you write down everything that's on your mind, and no filters. Later on, review the list and decide, is this actionable? If so, schedule it. If not, let it go. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology shows that writing down our worries helps offload mental stress and improves clarity. Overthinking can steal your time and peace, but it doesn't have to. You hold the power to break free. Your challenge is to take one of the steps that I talked about and put it into practice today. Small changes lead to big and incredible breakthroughs. Which step resonates the most with you? And are you an overthinker? If so, how do you stop yourself from overthinking? Drop me a comment below and let me know. And if this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, you are capable, you are resilient, and you've got this. If you're a chronic overthinker, then watch this video next where I talk about micro habits that can change your entire life.